Radio Vision because my Shoko's back.
Oh, I'm back.
Shar is back with us this morning. I told you she would be.
And he's still calling me Shoko.
And you know what? My new Shoko, Mark, is with us.
It's much better than show ho.
Yeah. Well,
as
it
he
was
was
show-
calling me.
He was.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That was funny because remember, I actually did that
He
to
did
you one
that
day,
a couple
and I
times.
did it to him too one morning, and we were
But
like
that was
started
totally
laughing.
accidental.
Yes,
too.
it was.
I don't understand why it's so hard just to say co-host.
I
Why do we
know.
gotta say show co-host?
It's like snow cone.
Yeah, right?
We were trying to label something like a little bit fun.
You try to get fancy, you outsmart yourself, and you
That's
end up
right.
calling me a show ho.
I called him the show host. So, but welcome, Shar.
Oh,
I'm
thank
so
you.
glad
It's
to
good
have
to
you
be
back on
back.
Friday.
Yeah, your work wife is here, so
Yes, my work wife
you better
is
be
here.
on your best behavior.
So I have to behave. I told everybody I have to behave now.
Mhm.
So
You do.
guys, I mean, it's well, it was a little cold this morning, but beautiful morning. Friday morning, of course. And you know what? I want to start off. We'll get to Shar, but I want to start off Mark. March Madness. I know you
Tournament
follow-
time, baby.
It's tournament time. I know you've been following it a little bit.
Well, it was funny because I actually saw something this morning that 99% of brackets are already busted after day one. And you know
Really?
why?
Why?
Because of Yale.
Yale.
Those nerds from Yale went out and took out the kids from Baylor. What a major upset that was. It was amazing to see Yale in their first tournament win ever last night against Baylor. Now, Baylor, a little bit of a snake-bitten team, right? Last year, they lose to Georgia State in the first round.
Mhm.
This year, they lose to Yale in the first round. Two major upsets, right? So if that wasn't enough, by some amazing chance, you actually picked Yale in your pool, right?
Mhm.
So then you had the Arkansas Little Rock game
Arkansas
versus
Little Rock.
Purdue. Purdue rolls over Arkansas Little Rock, right? Wrong. Double overtime. Little Rock beats Purdue, busts that entire bracket up. So now everything has changed after the first day, and that's what makes March Madness so great, is that, these teams, the way they get seeded, these 12 seeds against these 5 seeds, these 12 show up and beat these 5 seeds all the time. Now, Yale's magical run most likely is over,
Yeah.
right? They play again on Saturday tomorrow, so that bubble probably will get burst. That's Cinderella's story. I don't know how good Yale actually is. But
I don't
yesterday, Yale was the better team, and that was really awesome to see. It was really cool.
I like the way college basketball is structured, March Madness and everything, and it is a lot of fun. And I
Oh,
wish.
that's what you're talking
Oh,
about.
now see.
I get it.
So you know what though? Sometimes I think other sports should go that way. College football should be put in there.
Well, college football is getting closer
Closer
to.
to
They
it.
have the playoff system now, which is a lot different than the BCS system that they had
Right.
for a really long time. But, in this area, we're focused on the games today because we have Temple University, Villanova University, and St. Joseph's University all playing today in first round, well, they call it second round now, tournament games. So, Villanova and Temple play earlier in the day, and St. Joe's kind of got screwed a little bit by the committee.
Yeah, they did.
And they got sent all the way across the country out to Spokane, Washington. So the Hawks don't play until 9:57 tonight.
Right.
And they're on True TV, so you're going to have to look and find out where True TV. I had a little hard
Well,
time
next
trying to find
year-
it last night.
Next year we're going to have it on Radio Vision Network.
Oh,
our sports
perfect.
channel.
Wait, I have a question. They're not playing a game until almost 10 o'clock at night?
Right, well, it's a West
Is it
Coast.
taped? Oh,
no,
it's West
it's
Coast.
West
Oh,
Coast.
okay.
See,
Yeah.
the way these games are, I think that there's like 20 games or something today.
Mhm.
There was 20 yesterday,
There's
20
about
today.
20.
And they're staggered all time, starting at 12:30 Eastern. And then the last tip-off, I believe, is 9:57 Eastern.
Okay.
But they're playing in Washington State.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
It
there's
takes
3
time
hour
for the
time.
Right.
the sideline paint that they do. It takes time for them to dry.
I don't believe that.
But what's really
Actually,
funny,
they get it.
what's
They
really,
get you into
what's
it.
really interesting and really funny about the tournament this year is that the way they determine the regions and the places that they're playing. The South region is playing in Providence, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
How on earth does this work that the South is playing in Providence, Rhode Island, and the East is playing in Raleigh, North Carolina? It makes no sense. They obviously don't have maps at the NCAA to actually determine to make sense, it would make sense to have the regions represent the cities that they're actually playing in.
Right.
Think about the expense too of the travel expense. For
You know
all
what,
that.
Chart? It's funny. What you said.
Yeah.
Mark was talking about this. We weren't talking on camera, but we were talking about this yesterday. He was saying, think about all the parents that watch their kids, like in Philadelphia.
Right.
Who's out west? St.
Well,
Joe's?
St. Joe's, and basically
The
what
travel?
They can't watch their kids, or they have to spend a lot of money.
well head coach Phil Martelli of the Hawks said, you know, I understand that the tournament committee goes through a lot of headaches trying to seed and place these teams for these games, but for a team like St. Joe's, whose kids, now we have to remember they are college kids.
True.
And there are families that are very involved in these college kids' lives. This is very different than a lot of scenarios. These parents actually care about these kids. They've gone to every game the entire season, and now, the biggest game of the year, they send the team all the way out west, and a lot of the parents can't
That's-
make it out. It's
you
too
know.
much. It's too much to
much.
take on.
Yeah.
You know.
So that's unfortunate. I mean, it's great for Temple and Villanova. They get to play in Brooklyn. They get to drive right up to New York. There's no issue there.
It's a couple hours away.
They're playing in that big new arena. There's going to be plenty of tickets for everybody that wants to see those games to be able to go. And then you got a team like St. Joe's that's got to go all the way to Washington State.
That's
You know,
crazy.
they question, you know, whether it's fair or whether it's not. You know, Phil Martelli would much rather be in the tournament than be in a position like another A10 school, St. Bonaventure, who had the resume to make the tournament and didn't.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
so what's better? You make it and you travel and you deal with all of that headache, or you don't make it and you play in the NIT. I hate to break it. I think I'd rather make it.
Yeah. I'd
Who
rather
schedules all of that though? Who is in charge of all of that scheduling?
There is a committee that handles it for the NCAA. So you know, the NCAA is as much as they wouldn't want me to say that they're a machine. They absolutely are, and
Right, okay.
they have a group of their executives that determine who the teams that are in, where they play, when they play.
Right.
Now, there's a little controversy about this year's tournament because they're saying that the committee jumped the gun and already had a lot of the games seeded and placed before Sunday afternoon.
It's like precasting.
That's not supposed to happen. You're not
Right.
supposed to seed or put any of the games in place until all of the games and all of the conference tournaments are finished.
Right.
And that didn't happen this year. They already had determined certain teams in certain games, and that's just not fair.
It's not fair, and it just, you know what? It's like hokey pokey. So like I get, you know what I mean?
It doesn't make sense sometimes
Doesn't
on how
make sense.
they pick it. So here's
I don't know.
well, and let me wrap it up with this real quick. So St. Joe's last weekend in the A10 tournament, they beat Dayton, okay, in the semifinals, and Dayton ended up being a better seed than St. Joe's was, even though St. Joe's went all the way through and won the A10 tournament. So you
Right.
really you never know with
Right.
with this tournament committee. You wonder sometimes who are these guys that actually
Yeah.
pick
Do
this
this,
stuff.
yeah.
I want to know who is Charlene.
Oh, that's a loaded question. Do you, have
know
about
what?
a year?
Yeah. You know what, Char? You know, tell us a little bit about what you've been doing. I mean.
Oh my gosh, I've been so busy. I've actually been working at another television station. I can't say
That's all right.
where. And also, I'm in our final closing performances for a show at a local regional theater. So those are wrapping up this weekend. It's called Dark of the Moon. It's been a really nice run. It's been a 5-week run. And
Now
I've-
that's a theater show.
theatrical play.
Okay.
It's
Now
called
what do you
Dark-
do?
it's
What are you
called-
playing?
I'm playing Miss Hattie,
Miss
and
Hattie.
it's called Dark of the Moon.
How can people go see it?
It's at the Ritz Theater in Haddon Township, and performances are Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend. It's the end of the run. And it's a story about forbidden love, and we actually, for the guys, have some witches in feather bikinis.
Really?
Oh,
So-
cool.
Wait a minute. Are you with Forbidden Love, or are you? the
I'm
one-
not in one of the bikinis, no, sorry.
I was gonna say I'm about to go out and get my tickets. Now.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting play. Paul Newman starred in it on Broadway in the movie. Wait, I think Paul Newman was in the movie in 1945, 46, and it has been on Broadway. And it was actually written from a folk ballad called "The Ballad of Barbara Allen,"
Hmm.
and it's actually about a woman who was walking in the moonlight in the woods one evening. It happens in Appalachia, and she meets a boy, a young man, who happens to be a witch, and he falls in love with her and wants to become human. So he goes to the conjurers to ask them to put a spell on him to make him human. But she has to remain faithful to him for 1 full year, or he'll revert back to a witch. And I can't tell you the rest.
Wow, sounds
That's really
cool.
the basic story.
That sounds really
sounds
cool.
very cool.
But we have
Congratulations.
witches, conjurers, townspeople, and there's a lot of folk singing,
Now,
banjo
how
playing.
long is this? How long is the play?
How long is it?
Yeah,
About 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
So you look. So it's like a movie when you're going.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I've only been to one. No, I've only been to
Oh
one.
yeah,
theater.
going to a play
All right,
is
we
just
need-
like going to
No,
a
we
no,
need to
movie.
make him
time.
come.
Yeah,
That's
right?
Yes. Like, no, I mean it's better. I mean, but what I mean is like, you know, you try to allot
It's real,
time
Keith.
out.
They're
It's
real people on
I
stage
know,
interacting
but
with you.
You know what? People like the last play I went to was The Wiz or whatever.
Oh.
When I was like.
This is not the Wiz.
Like 10 years old, but you know, no, because you know, but as a kid you get antsy or whatever. So I mean, like I'm just thinking, like how long is how?
What are you doing tonight, tomorrow, or Sunday?
I might be going to this play.
He's going
I
to see
think
Dark of
you-
the Moon.
Only
See
if you
Dark of the
switch,
Moon.
only if
Yeah.
you switch characters and get into that feather bikini, then I'll go.
No chance of that.
No, all right.
We'll be right back,
Yeah.
and we're going to explain, Keith, the difference between
Yeah,
a movie and a
a
play.
theater.